Hey, come on in and welcome to A Win is a Win podcast, where sports and everything else collide. Comfortable? All right. Let's go, Dr. T.
All right, we are back, y'all. And guess what? The Super Bowl is set. That's right. Well, it looks like the Eagles and the Chiefs will do it again. That's right. But before we get into all of that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. And don't forget to tell someone to tell somebody else to come on over and join. A win is a win. Hey, listen, if you like the content that you're hearing, go ahead and hit that notification bell so that you know when a new episode drops. Hit that like button. It just keeps us in the algorithm, lets everybody know, hey, this little podcast over here that you might want to check out. Also, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, or many other platforms where you can get your podcast information. So, here we are. We made it. 18 weeks and some more, and we have gotten almost to the finish line. So, who's going to take the Lombardi this year? Are the Chiefs going to three-peat? Or are the Eagles going to soar into New Orleans and say, not so fast? Well, in order to figure out what's going to happen over there, we got to first see how we ended up here. So let's go through a couple things. The Commanders took their final L of the year, losing to the Eagles 23-55. Eagles pretty much just killed them on the ground, 229 rushing yards to just the Commanders 99. Daniels was 29 of 48 for 255 yards, one touchdown and a pick. And Hurts was 20 of 28, 246 yards passing and one touchdown. But listen, let me tell y'all, Saquon Barkley stole the show. That's right. Yes, he did. He showed up and he understood his assignment. And what I mean is just that he ran all over the damn place. Period. There's no other way I can just say that. He ran all over the damn place, y'all. 15 carries for 118 yards. Not one, not two, but three touchdowns. Yeah, he came to take care of business. That's right. So, what do you think? Is that going to work up for Spags and Andy Reid in New Orleans? Let me know what you think about that. The Bills fall short to the Chiefs, 29-32. Allen was 22 of 34 for 237 yards passing, two touchdowns. And Mahomes was 18 of 26 for 245 yards passing and one touchdown. So we know that the Chiefs, they have been just figuring it out all year, and it seems to be working. But is that going to be enough to get them through the biggest stage, the biggest game of the year against the Eagles, who are clearly no joke? Let me know what you think down in the chat. And listen, while that was taking place, okay, you had the WNBA pulling off a blockbuster deal. That's right, the Seattle Storm are trading six-time All-Star Jewel Lloyd to the Las Vegas Aces in a multi-team move that sends three-time All-Star Kelsey Plum to the Los Angeles Sparks. And let me just tell you something. when you got Lloyd and Wilson, not only are the aces stacked and they have a new big three, but that duo is going to be a problem. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a big problem right there. So excited to see what that brings in the new WNBA season here. Now, the cheapest ticket, y'all, while we on the topic of the Super Bowl here, is over $5,600, and that's not including lodging. Now, let me just tell you this for some measure. When the tickets were on sale here in Phoenix when the Super Bowl was here, yeah, those tickets were about between $5,600 each seat to about $10,000. You know what? NFL, let's just say this. We know we got to have, you know, the sponsors in the bag. Excuse me. All right. You got Heineken. Definitely got Modelo's. You got all beef hot dogs. You in New Orleans this year, so people gonna be walking around with etouffee, beignets, all kind of New Orleans food. Not to mention all of the celebrity parties that's gonna be happening. $5,600, right? And this economy. But here's the thing. Although I'm saying that, I do know this. Oh yeah, them tickets will be bought and purchased, whether it be on a credit card, whether people are saving their vacation money, 401k, and they're taking it. I have no idea. But that's a lot of bread. That's a lot of money. And let's just say a lot of people are going to show up because they want to see if the Chiefs can pull off a three-peat. And we haven't even gotten into the viewership, the streaming. How many people are going to have to download an app to watch it? Money talks, I tell you that. Now, Trump, y'all, and his little billionaire buddies, pretty much, yeah, they got us sitting ducks, y'all, with no allies. Yeah, no, we not getting ready to have no more, y'all. Here's what happened, okay? So Trump, when he was running for president, the presidency, along with quite a few other people, one of those very loud people being Jill Stein, had a lot to say about Gaza and Israel and Egypt and so on and so forth. And you have to just take a minute to digest the sheer amount of lies, propaganda, and bullshit that he sold to quite a few Americans to achieve a vote, when in turn, none of what he has promised in his election has taken fruition, except for what he told y'all he was going to do. But the other things that he said, this being one of them, on top of food prices going down, is the complete opposite. But this is a huge one. Well, Trump got caught on audio, and he's basically calling for a clean out of the Palestinians in Gaza. Sickening. So this is what he had to say.
Right now, and it's a mess. It's a real So you'd like Jordan to house people from
I'd like him to take people. I'd like Egypt to take people. I'm talking to General El-Sisi tomorrow, sometime I believe. And I'd like Egypt to take people, and I'd like Jordan to take people. You're talking about probably 1.5 million people, and we just clean out that whole thing. It's over the centuries that's many conflicts that site, and I don't know. It's something has to happen, but it's literally a demolition site right now. Almost everything's demolished, and people are dying there. So I'd rather get involved with some of the Arab nations and build housing at a different location where they can maybe live in peace.
I'd rather build houses. Okay. So here's my thought on that. Just imagine for a minute wanting other countries to take people while you ban taking people and traumatize people that were already taken and are law abiding, tax paying citizens in their country. My other question is, all right, anyone seen Jill Stein? Where are you at? Because this is all disgusting behavior right now. And speaking of disgusting, Gustavo Petro, yeah, he is the president of Colombia. He basically said, all right, Trump, bet. Just bet it. So basically, Trump, in a tantrum, decides that he is going or did impose an immediate retaliatory sanction, tariffs, and bans against Colombia after Gustavo turns away U.S. deportation flights. Okay. And when you talk about immediate retaliatory sanctions, that opens the door for a can of worms, and that puts us at risk to start taking away our allies. Now, after Petro turned away U.S. deportation planes early Sunday on the 26th, he took to X and wrote, "The United States cannot treat Colombian migrants as criminals. I deny the entry of American planes carrying Colombian migrants into our territory. The U.S. must establish a protocol for the dignified treatment of migrants before we receive them." In another post, he said, "A migrant is not a criminal. It must be treated with dignity that a human being deserves. That's why I turned back the United States military planes that were carrying Colombian migrants. I cannot allow migrants to remain in a country that does not want them, but if that country sends them back, it must be with dignity and respect for them and for our country. We will receive our fellow citizens on civilian planes without treating them like criminals. Colombia is respected." In a third post, he stated, "There are 15,660 Americans living in Colombia illegally." They should contact our immigration service to regularize their situation. He continued to reply to other social users and speak out against deportation. Subsequently, because of this, U.S. President Trump hit back at Colombia's president and said, "Well, I am going to immediately put sanctions and tariffs and bans against the country for turning away U.S. deportation flights." Trump took to Truth Social and wrote, I was just informed that two repatriation flights from the U.S. with a large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. The order was given by Colombia's socialist president, Gustavo Petro. See, he loves calling people socialists. He did that with the Mexican president as well. Petro's denial of these flights jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States. So I have directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures. So then Gustavo, he hits the Uno reverse and says, "Oh, okay, bet. I'm putting 50% tariffs on everything. Keep playing. Stop playing with us because we will make it that much harder for you to get 90% of your fruits and veggies and coffee into the United States. You will not treat migrants like criminals. Those who are criminals are handled in a different way. These are simply migrants. And while you at it, come get your people from out my country. How about that? Now go play with somebody else." You know, my only thing with this is, and this is where we have to be very careful, very, very careful. And a lot of times I don't think that people really realize how dangerous, politics and things of that nature can be. When you talk about what the people asked for during this election to both sides, the simple version of it is we just want to be able to buy groceries. We just want to be able to live, not struggle. Help us with our everyday needs. Okay. When you look at Trump's trade wars, especially with China, it led to increased tariffs on a lot of their imports. And y'all know we get a lot of stuff from China. And, the intent essentially is to boost domestic manufacturing. And the reality is that those costs were passed on to consumers. Everyday items, y'all, electronics, clothing, even, the top thing is groceries. All of that became more expensive. And then you add to that the rising cost of just simple housing. People don't know from paycheck to paycheck how they're going to make their rent, light, water, trash, basic utilities. Don't even get me started on healthcare, and we cannot leave out education. And then we're left as citizens with an affordability crisis. So who does all these politics hurt? It hurts the middle. It hurts the lower income Americans the most. And of course, it's the bigger corporations, he and all of his buddies, that profit. It's the middle people that get up and go to work every day at Ford, at GM, steel factories, farming, agricultural jobs, work in the ports for little of nothing. But those people show up every day. Why? Because they also have families to take care of. So this whole thing with Trump and his nonsense and how he's alienating the entire world against us, we literally will be and are, in my opinion, currently, we are sitting freaking ducks right now. Listen, you remember songs like Walk It Out and, do a little two-step, walk it out, walk it out, walk it out. Well, DJ Unk, the man behind those two famous songs, passed away unexpectedly the other day, and his family and his mother took to social media. He was 42 years old, and everyone wondered what happened to him. Well, his cause of death was released as a massive heart attack at 42 years old. So that's unfortunate that we keep losing our pioneers so early, and whether he was, long term or short term, the music that he did put out was a part of that fun hip hop era, coming off of the heels of like Kid and Play and that type of hip hop that was just simply fun. So yeah, we lost DJ Unk this past week. Listen, $25,000 fine for a touchdown celebration. I'm getting sick and tired of these fines. NBA, NFL, you do not hear as much of this in baseball or hockey or soccer. But Lions wide receiver Jamison Williams was fined $25,325 for his divisional round touchdown celebration, where he essentially was in the end zone and did one of his little moves on the ground. Well, okay. NFL said, that's enough. Instead of just a slap on the wrist, it said, don't do that no more. $25K. That is some people's, in certain situations, their yearly salary. $25,000. And ain't not one of these refs making these piss poor calls, getting fined or even reviewed or investigated. But $25,000 is a lot of money to us regular folks. But to a football player that's making millions on top of millions throughout the year, that's like $5 to them. But I believe something has got to change with those fines, because there ain't no way that this can keep going on and that be all right. I don't know. I just think that a lot of times, sometimes we can get caught up in punishing people to justify some weird means on the back end. You know what I'm saying? And from what I understand, the fines go to charity. Well, who's followed that dollar to make sure that that actually happens? It'll be interesting to see who actually follows that. Um, I don't know, but I don't like it. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, Jerry Jones is just, you know, I don't. He's a very strange man. Okay, he's a very, very odd man, and you would have to think that his son and his children, especially Stephen, is just strange. Listen to what Jerry had to say when they introduced their new head coach, which to me is a joke within itself. But
Who likes being tied up and watching me fuck Cowboys fans in the parking lot of a Cheddar's.
yes,
If
that's what
Cowboy
he
fans
said.
think things will get better after I die, well, I got news for you. The only person dumber than me is my son, Steven. Hell, I caught that boy humping a doorknob when he was 27, and he ain't been right ever since. That's why I don't spend money on free agency. I had to spend $1 million replacing all the goddamn doorknobs in this place. The last time we won a Super Bowl, I could still get hard without taking a pill. Nowadays, my dinger just looks like a wet biscuit. But I think I did a great job hiring someone nobody wanted. I think I deserve a reward. Maybe I'll watch the Cowboys cheerleaders shower while I get a good tug going. Call me a ventriloquist because I just hired another puppet.
All right, and then we have some more. It's just weird.
Meeting people in my comfort zone. Without this thing being about me in any way, if you don't think I can operate out of my comfort zone, you're so wrong. It's unbelievable. This is as big a risk as you could take. As big a risk as you could take.
no head coaching experience. Now, let me share something with you. With all of that, you've just heard him reference his osmosis, his family. Anybody in this room that doesn't believe the apple doesn't go far from the tree has missed it someplace down the road, especially if there was an effort to make it that way, and there was an effort. But then you go around to the countless numbers of coaches that Shotty has served on staff with and been around, the countless players. How often do you have someone that has 20, I'm going to say 25, it may be 26, of years of working through the human relationship and working, aspiring to learn, of have his ears and eyes wide open and looking for techniques and looking for things that make coaches better?
I'm going to ask y'all, do y'all know what Jerry was talking about? Because I don't. I don't. And, you know, he's, you know, people shouldn't wish death on anyone at any point in time. I don't care how annoying. You have to be very careful what you speak out of your mouth. And, at times it's like when you sit and think about it, he literally only wanted to take the risk that he says he's taking. So that way, if he's, let's just say they have a good season, then what Jerry is going to do. He's going to turn around, take all the credit, and act like he's some type of football genius. I mean, he literally can't operate outside of his comfort zone like he mentioned. Because if he could, he would hire a real GM. Period. I mean, what else is there? Why wouldn't you hire a real GM? If you are confident in yourself as being the owner, and you are as smart as you are saying you are, all right then, well, why not hire a GM? Because you want all of the credit. It is that simple. Nothing more, nothing less. Listen, healed and moving forward. Yep. Michael Strahan's daughter, Isabella, has been declared cancer free and is returning back to college. If you don't know about the story, Isabella Strahan is the daughter of Michael Strahan. And of course, he has that Good Morning America co-anchor job. And they shared a health update about 6 months after being declared cancer free following a brain cancer diagnosis in 2023. Now, his 20-year-old has resumed her studies at the University of Southern California, where she was a freshman in the fall of 2023 when she began to experience symptoms that led to a diagnosis of medulloblastoma. Now, the USC student completed chemotherapy in June of last year and is now cancer-free. And she took to Good Housekeeping and said, obviously, you can't predict what will happen, and that's a little scary. But I don't think you can solely live in fear. I think I should live every single day. Now back at USC, Isabella is majoring in communications. She'll continue to have scans every 3 months for the next 2 to 3 years, and then every 6 months to a year after that. You know, you have to think how strong a person is just to stop their whole entire life and deal with something that is unseen, unknown, that could kill you. Cancer is ugly. Cancer will make you want to give up. It's painful. It makes you sad. It makes you depressed. You get angry and you say, why me? But you, at the same time you're saying, why me? You still wouldn't wish what you were going through on your worst enemy, especially for it to be in the brain. That means she could have had cognitive function. issues, brain damage significant to affecting her quality of life. But she came through it and she fought and she's right back in her stride. So God bless her and congratulations for Michael Strahan's daughter being cancer free and she getting right back into her stride. I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to just say it the way that I feel like saying it. The Colts are sick and tired of Pat McAfee's ass, and they want him basically to shut the hell up. I'm going to just lay it down like that. He had some words and went in on the Colts Pro Bowler linebacker Zaire Franklin on his podcast. And for what seemingly is like about the damn 25th time over the last couple of weeks, listen to what he had to say.
The more that comes out, the more I feel like
Podcast.
you guys, great tackler.
What are we saying?
Guys, great tackler. I think he made a Pro Bowl.
He did.
You guys want him third, second round? That's what I would. I mean, I would do. That was what I would do. That's why I would never be a president of a team.
Do you think the Giants played that? Obviously.
I want to play a terrible team in a big market. Okay, thanks for being a champion. Okay, that's what that's what playoffs are. Just terrible teams in big markets.
45 burger.
I'm just a whole. Get them the fuck out of the city. I can't do it. Legit. But that's also why I'm a president GM. The more that comes out, the more I feel like
podcast.
And he just won't stop. He literally just won't shut up. I mean, it's almost like there is an issue as to why his voice even matters. I mean, is he on a board somewhere? Is he minority owner? Does he have some type of job within the organization where he can continue to run his mouth about the Colts? And even though some people may say Zaire is overrated, some people even say that he's one-dimensional, but it doesn't warrant all of that. And sometimes I think that Pat is still salty about the podcast situation with Zaire and AR. He's letting, I believe, his personal feelings get involved with the Colts being a bad team, and it's just making the situation way worse than what it is. The last time I spoke on Zaire, somebody said, oh, well, he's nowhere good as prime Darius Leonard. And what does that mean? I mean, because if you look at the stats, top 5 in tackles the last 3 years, and even led the league in tackles this year. Where's the lie? So like I said, we're always going to have comparisons, okay? That's what makes the conversations about sports interesting. But if you're going to compare, be fair, okay? If you don't like a person because you don't like them, say that. But be fair in what it is that you're assessing, because numbers don't lie at all. It doesn't. But I'm real tired of hearing about Pat McAfee in this situation. It's annoying. It's become redundant. It's become to the point where he doesn't have. He thinks because he has a podcast that his word is law. All right, cool. You have a podcast. So does a lot of other people. A lot of other people have podcasts, even analysts that are on ESPN. But does it mean that you have to continue to just 25 times? Bro, that's harassment at this point. Find something else to do. with your time. That Aaron Rodgers juju is rubbing off on you, or it could be vice versa. Listen, before we get into some bets coming up here, do y'all think that this is a Bronny of the NFL type of situation when you have Arch Manning? People are saying he can declare for the draft as early as 26. How? Oh, he can skip all of that because of his. How? He's not ready at all. So, how would that even be justifiable for him to declare in a 26 draft? That's interesting to me. I saw that today on X and people were going back and forth about that. And I just think that, look, you know, take his family lineage out the picture and judge him solely on who he is right now to then say he can declare next year for the draft. Ask yourself, without all the other drama involved in it and who he is and what family he comes from, is he that good? Jump down there in the chat and let me know. Listen, so we got a couple things to talk about as far as bets. NBA season is starting to get interesting, the best that it can. And so as we trail off of NFL, we only have the Super Bowl left. We'll jump into some bets for NBA and come back next week. We'll start getting into some basketball news. And we also have some basketball coming up and gone now. So we're going to come right back and we're going to get into how we can make a little bit of coins, y'all, off a little bit of these basketball games that's going down. So we'll be right back. Looking for some quality betting picks? Well, download the Discord app and join our group Bet Masters Lounge, where you can get positive EV and arbitrage along with best bets and parlays. Download Discord now, send us an invite, and get in on the action. All right, so depending on how soon you listen to this episode, we're going to go over some bets for some of tonight's NBA games. We can do this two ways. We're going to go with a 3-leg parlay, or we're going to go with singles. Depends on how you want to do it. Even if you do a 2-man slip, you still got a single bet lingering out there somewhere. So for the Houston Rockets and the Celtics, I'm going to take the over at 221.5. Wizards Mavs, I'm going to take the under at 231.5. And for the Bucks and Jazz, I'm going to take the over at 237. I personally am going to put that into a 3-leg parlay on DraftKings. $10 on that particular bet will get you back $92.60. All right. And remember, if you want to get your bets in, get those bets in early. Don't waste your time trying to do things out of emotion at the last minute. You tend to lose a lot more money that way, actually, because you're chasing stats at that point. Now, for NFL, we only got one game, y'all, and it's happening on February the 9th at 4:30 p.m. on Fox. That's right, the Super Bowl. So what picks do I have for that? Well, I believe that game is going to result in over 49.5 points. So I will be taking the over on that. I do have a prop bet that I like for DeAndre Hop, and that is over 13.5 receiving yards. That's a positive EV, y'all, of plus 14.2. Go ahead and jump on that really early. And I am going to take the Eagles. I'm going to take the dog in this fight, y'all, at plus 1.5 to upset the Chiefs. So you take all three of those, get that in, put that on DraftKings right now. I will put that down as a $20 bet, and that's going to bring you back $162.80 in DraftKings. And if you want even more bets, you want more picks, well, check this out. There's two places you can find me. Go to drT23.site. That is DRT23.site. Click join me on DraftKings. If you already got an account, go for it. And if you don't, go ahead and deposit that $5 and get up to $150 in bonus bets. Listen, they have promos all over the place right now. Jump on those. They have a lot of no sweat bets. What that means is if you bet it and you lose, you get that money back. So it's really like a free bet. And also we have a Discord group. That's right. You can join us on Discord in Betmasters Lounge. So join Discord, and I will put a link in the pinned comment in the link on Spotify and also in Apple Podcasts. Right now, iHeartRadio doesn't really give us the benefit of doing that, but you can definitely go and check out our YouTube channel. It is a Win is a Win podcast on YouTube. It don't cost you anything. I know a lot of times a lot of people are on YouTube and they're yelling at you, hit the like button. We don't have enough likes, or in order to comment, you got to be subscribers and members only chat. I'm not doing all of that. I just want y'all to enjoy good content, okay? When we come back and go on now, Jimmy Butler, he done pissed off Pat Riley, and Pat Riley, he basically said, you got me messed up.
Oh, hell no!
All right, so Jimmy Butler then pissed off Pat Riley to the fullest. Yep. So the Heat are suspending Butler without pay for an indefinite period of time. And he basically this time just walked out of the team practice. Yeah. Just walk the hell on out. And it's been about the third time Butler has been suspended? Yeah. In just a few weeks. And he pretty much shot himself in the foot because he was supposed to return from his second suspension Monday against the Magic. And I believe that the Heat said that this latest suspension is going to last about 5 games, which will take it through the NBA's trade deadline. It's different. It's another way, good brother. This ain't it. Even if y'all couldn't come to terms and agreement, this is not the way to exit the building. And then the Heat were already planning to replace you in the starting lineup with Highsmith for Monday's game. And, I think what I'm trying to say is if you didn't like that replacement, why not just go and talk to Spo? Why not go and talk to Pat Riley and have a private conversation? Instead, you show up to practice, get that information, and then just walk out. And if you're going to continue to have this pattern of behavior, Jimmy, and disregard at least the team rules and don't act like an adult, then go on now. Go sit down for a couple games. It's a different way in which you can take a bad situation, if that's how you view it, and go and take it and handle it in an adult manner. And I believe it's about 9 games of the past 12 games that he's missed because of all these suspensions. You cannot continue to act like this. And I know Shaq was saying, well, if you owe me money and then you renege on it, then I'm just going to act a certain kind of way. That's not okay either, though, Shaq. That's not okay either. See, the problem is that we're not going to take away any accolades from how his game is. Okay? We're not doing that. We're not even talking about whatever his contractual agreement was, or whatever money that he feels like he was promised and didn't get, or he wants. We're not talking about that either. We're talking about the response to something when things go wrong. That's the problem here. So it's not we're not trying to say, oh well, he can act like this, he can get a pass because if you owe me this or you owe me that, well, you get what you get. No, that's not okay either. You know? I'm hoping that with that kind of behavior that he's exhibiting now, he better hope. And I'm hoping that, even though the Cavs are my home team, I live in Arizona. So I'm hoping that the Suns don't pick him up. You know what I mean? Like, why take a headache and bring it to a team that's already got issues? So he also needs to be very careful, because a lot of teams wouldn't want to bring that behavior into their locker room. So, I don't really know what's going to happen. I believe the he I, you know it's tough, because when you look at a player, you get disappointed, like you're wasting all of this talent that your team needs. You are abandoning your team because of your real filthy, nasty attitude. Go on now. Come on, sit down, take a time out. You already had 3 games suspension. Now you got another 5. Go on and take some time to reflect about what you are doing, not just for you, but selfishly. This is affecting your team. And you don't play basketball by yourself. You do not play all 5 positions by yourself. Go on now. Straighten up and act like a man, act like an adult. Because I know at the end of the day, what you really want is for Miami to act in a professional manner when it comes to your contract. So you then too, sir, need to do the same thing. That's going to end it for this week's episode of A Win is a Win. Hey, y'all, if you like what you are hearing, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and share. Remember, it don't even cost you a thing. Hit that notification bell so you know when a new episode drops. That like button is somewhere around there. I'm not going to beat you up for it like everybody else. Go hit the like button. Better do it. Nope. Just go ahead and hit that like button if you like. Keeps me in the algorithm. And we got some games coming up, y'all. We got some games coming up. Yes, NBA season at this particular point in time starts to heat up, so perhaps we can see a little bit better ball. Not so many threes, hopefully. And then we have the Super Bowl. After that, what else do we have coming up, y'all? If I forgot something, jump down there in the comments. Let me know. We got the Pro Bowl. I don't really like the Pro Bowl though, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. It's like an adult flag football. Don't touch me too hard. I might have an injury. But anyway, I'll catch y'all next week, y'all. Peace.